But Jared, Scott, and Jared, Jason, and Kerra Scudder have all dealt with my panic attacks over how long it takes to turn things in. Thing is that although I'm mad at them because they didn't try as hard as they could have, they really did try as best as they could given their situation, and I tried to express that. I also tried to express when people kept telling me, well, it's the cops' jobs. Yeah, I'll let them know. If I can give the cops my number, I'll let them know. But I gave the cops their numbers, or at least tried. They didn't write them down. They didn't even write down the names of the witnesses. They didn't care. So, um, Jared and Jason and Kerra are going to come in today and meet me at the library at 1. I'm going to try to show them what happened over the last week. They have all dealt with me having a fucking meltdown over this before. I mean, this all started a year ago. Or, sorry, not a year ago. It all started last year here in Tillamook. What was I doing here in Tillamook? I was fleeing the same stuff in Hood River, the Dalles. It's the same everywhere when you're a disabled homeless male. People just don't understand. I don't mind helping feed people. I don't mind helping contributing to a household. But also, there's a lot of situations where I'm stuck with alcoholics and drug addicts, and it doesn't help me to listen to them screaming at each other. Being forced to go to the internet with it, I only go to the internet with it because the services won't do their jobs. If they would do their jobs, I wouldn't have to record it. Anyway, I got less than an hour to get to the library. Your empty promises are expensive. Now, all these people that wanted to help me and didn't have time were too broke and stuff like that. The problem is that the excuses that the cops made repeatedly are not the same as these people's reasons. Now, I do understand hunting season. I don't understand going through 2 full hunting seasons, especially when you've got a seasoned hunter. That's right, I am. Seasoned, that doesn't mean a master hunter. I'm barely a novice, but I'm a pretty good hunter and I can get meat and provide meat. I don't have to kill it though. My food stamp card, that can be used to get food, but also there's a food bank up here, and I don't have a place to cook all of the meat that they give me, so it ends up going rotten. And I got no problems with giving that to people either. And it's not dependent upon whether or not they help me, it's dependent on whether or not they need it. When I'm afraid to go to somebody for help, it makes it more difficult, and I was afraid to go to the Scudders for help. I kept on trying to get the cops to call the Scudders. They said that if they got a call, they'd talk to those people. I explained that it was important to do it in person with the victim, with me, so that it can be recorded. And also, there are the safety issues that are inherent and have been happening. And obviously, there are enough employees at the Fred Meyers that were witnesses to this that the cops should have talked to them. I also found out that the guy Rob, he's the HR manager. He's an assistant manager there. So he's not the owner. So I'm going to try to find my wallet and go in and get myself something to eat here. I'm over at the grocery outlet. I got some more cans that I dug out of my car so that I give them to Alexander. See, a lot of people wanted to run me around to other people. I'm going to give you an example. There's a guy in Hood River, and he wanted me to exchange his bottles in for him and his cans. And he was going to give me $1 out of it. It's not a lot of money, but out of $5, you know, that's $4 for him and $1 for me. Well, I did what he wanted, and then he was going to go, he took all the money, he was going to come back and give me some. Like, I don't get how that works. Then he said, oh, well, I didn't realize that's how it was. I sent a guy to bring you some water. I sent a guy to bring you $1. He never showed up. Oh, well, it's not my fault. Keep your word. Don't fucking rip people off. Don't promise to help somebody. And then when they've invested all of their time and their money into believing you, you throw it all away by being selfish. The Scudders are obviously still willing to turn it in. Scott Scudder's mad at me. He's allowed to be. I will not take it from him. He's still a witness. But also, I do like Scott. I don't eat strawberries, just in case I interact with Scott. Anyway, at 1 o'clock at the library, I'm supposed to meet there. The safety issue at the hospital would not have been present if I'd had a friend or family member going with me. The problem is I didn't have a friend or family member to go in with me. And I am sick and tired of having to walk without the cane because it makes my foot cramp up within 5 or 6 steps. But I hyperextended my fingers yesterday, so they cramp up from holding the cane. Life. Alright, so
He's like, no. I was like, yes, he did.
getting some breakfast. Recorded. I'm fine with that. What I'm not fine with is my predators getting to pick out little bits and pieces out of context, with me never allowed to defend myself and having to depend on public pretenders who will not do their jobs. They do not care about us. We are roll-throughs for them, same as with the police, same as with judges, a roll-through. We don't matter. A drug addict with a child matters more, but only if she's female. See, between an innocent homeless man and an addict mother, you will do something to help the addict mother. So will I. But it's not just addict mothers who I help. When an addict mother tells me she needs food, she's asking for food, I provide food. When an addict mother says that she's going to help you, you can be pretty rest assured that it's not the help that you need. She's not going to hear the help that you need. So what are we doing now? Well, I'm going to smoke me part of a tobacco, and I'm going to drive over to the Conoco, or Chevron, I guess. It's a Chevron. And I'm going to get myself a hot cup of coffee. I wouldn't have to record in public if I wasn't stuck in public. And I wouldn't be stuck in public if it wasn't for neglect. See, these people are not held accountable unless you hold them accountable. And if you want to be friends like King of Nickels and look the other way because you're embarrassed, well, that's completely fucked. Anyway, I didn't go posting people's numbers for no reason. It was either a situation where the cops refused to do their jobs, so I had to try to give that information to the public and hope they would turn it in, which you're not gonna. You're only here for entertainment. But I had to hope there was one good person here. You don't stop to realize how complicated a situation it is. You just want a simple answer to fix everything. What you want is to have a 23-minute show that ends in happiness. Well, as I've said from the very beginning, this is not for your entertainment. It is for my safety and the safety of those around me. It is for the protection of the most at-risk people in America. Robert Farnsworth is at far more risk out here than well, not anymore. Before Natalie was killed, Robert Farnsworth would be far more at risk out here than me. He gets assaulted more often because people get annoyed with his crazy, so they beat on him. They think they can beat the crazy out of him. That doesn't make it any better, it only makes it worse. You use the term mentally ill as an excuse to try to ignore crimes by people like Robert Farnsworth. But then you use the term mentally ill as an excuse to harm them and prevent them from speaking when they are abused. You really think that crazy people deserve to be beaten up just because the cops won't do their fucking jobs and mental health won't do their jobs? Just because you got a fucking governor or a senator that wants to fucking squeeze a few $100,000 for their friends on a homeless board of directors, but nobody on it's homeless. They get $100,000 a piece, like in Boulder, Colorado. They apportioned $100,000 a piece to each of 7 board members. That's nearly $1 million a year to pay these board members. $1 million a year that could have been spent on actually helping the homeless how they need, on getting land that they can live on without being treated like, well, Jews in a concentration camp. Have you ever been to a fucking halfway house? A men's halfway house is not the same as a women's halfway house, just so you know. Have you ever been to a homeless shelter? Anyway, the Scudders know poverty. That much is clear. Gotta use both arms. Alright. Get myself a hot cup of coffee. Pressing false charges on me, or forcing me to literally break the law to show that the law is being broken. How pathetic is that? I shouldn't have to threaten people back to show that threatening me is wrong. But it is necessary. It is necessary to show that the rules are different for you than they are for me. Anyway, I'm going to try to get some R&R after I get my coffee. I'm going to try to, I don't know, I'll probably listen to some Rachel Platt or maybe, I don't know, I like Macy Gray. And Lacey Keys too. So, who knows what I'll jam out to. Might even be Colorado by Milky Chance. Matter of fact, actually, I think that's what it's going to be. This time, I'm not going to go for the female vocals. I'm going to go for some filthy foreigners who did their best to learn English, so they might actually make it as a band.
Thank you. Cox Camel Blue Shorts. Sure.
Good luck. How's it going, bro?
Well, I'm still breathing. I ain't dead yet.
Yeah.
Sorry, I haven't been in for a while.
Is that all you getting?
Yes, sir. Oh, I'm using your bathroom too, but I'm gonna go drink that in my car for a little bit first.
It won't even ring up. It's all good.
You know, the last person to do that to me called the cops and said
Oh my
I
God,
should
are you
steal it and not pay
serious?
for it. Yes.
Jesus, bro. I wouldn't do that to
No,
you.
her name was not Jesus. It was Rayanne
Okay,
Ingersoll.
I'll charge you for a small. How's that? Fuck that.
That'll work. All right, you keep the change. I'll be back to her in probably a few minutes. I'm sure of it.
Oh shit. Thanks, bro.
Fuck you too. Have a good day.
I appreciate it, man.
I just realized that one of the sounds that I made sounds like the word fuck. Fuck you too. You too. It's just a sound, but it literally sounds like a curse word, and I say it often. You too. But it doesn't always come off as depends on how dry my mouth is, I suppose. Right after I said that, I was like, oh my god, did I just tell him fuck you too? It was kind of like a half laugh, I guess. I don't know. I record because I have to, not because I want to. Before you go trying to argue every little point, like a lot of officers wanted to do. Well, not everyone. Not everyone. All right, fine, not everyone. But for the sake of argument, between going through 351 names, where 350 of them did, then yes, that's close enough to everyone. Hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of fake accounts to harass me. Those started before Natalie was killed. Like the Riley Johnson one. That didn't actually come from Riley Johnson. There's 3 different of those. One from Riley Johnson, who was a friend of mine. There was a lot more than that, but when Natalie died, there was only 3 of them that were sitting there. A lot of those automatically went to my spam, so I never saw them. No problem. They disappear after 30 days or 60 days. There's a lot of little things like that you don't think about. Or like, all right, at the very beginning, the Facebook algorithms weren't there to protect the victims. They weren't there to protect anybody. As a result, if a whole bunch of women's groups decided they wanted to just spam the shit out of something, just you get together and you talk to your lady friends and you decide that you're going to spam the shit out of it. Call it spam, call it spam, call it spam, and eventually it disappears. They were able to destroy a lot of evidence that way. And then I'm told, oh, well, you really can't ever destroy anything on the internet. There's always a way to access it. Really? Because I've hit nothing but roadblocks. I've been blackballed by every law enforcement agency that I've had to encounter. They break the law and do manipulative and fucked up things, and they know what they're doing, and I have to go along with it, because if I don't go along with it, then they get irate and angry. How dare I? I also know the limits of the law and what I'm allowed to do, and why. You guys want to change it. You want to pretend you know the law. You want to say you can't help me because you're not a lawyer, even though you're a witness. And then you want to argue about that. You don't want to try to understand how your involvement affected the situation. Or your excuses. I got about 20 minutes before I got to be to the library. And I still got to poop. You're welcome for telling you. With the Scudders, yeah, I'm angry about the situation still because if they'd come forward to begin with, it would have been different. But also, I did my best to understand their situations with why they weren't able to. It got to the point where the amount of time that it took for people to eventually come forward to help turn in these crimes, a lot more crimes were committed against me, and a lot more being victimized for being a homeless male. For not having the resources to take care of myself because my friends and family ripped me off repeatedly. And each one of them, it's their desperate situation is the reason they did it. And they expect me to understand. Do they not understand the desperation I've been in? Because I needed their words. I needed them to speak up. Without them speaking up, I'm going to get the mentally ill treatment, and that's it. I'll get talked over and disrespected by all these services and sent back to my predators to turn them in. Meanwhile, I'm trying to turn in abuse against children as well. You get to see how hard cops fought to not get that information, to try to make sure that that evidence was destroyed or taken, such as the case with Rawlins, Wyoming. Boulder Police Department. Dual County Sheriff Scott DaCosta. No matter who hurts me or harms me, if the witnesses don't come forward, then my predator gets to play victim, call me mentally ill, and get away with it. I'm homeless. I'm a male. The cops don't fucking care. They're glad it's free fucking money for them. I shouldn't have had to go to people with severe mental illnesses. You like that, huh? Mental illnesses. We use the insulting, derogatory term for mental disabilities. I shouldn't have had to go to schizophrenics and people who are on drugs for help. Take a look at how the people who weren't schizophrenic or on drugs treated me. Oh, they got these pretty lives where they believe that you just ignore it and it disappears. Really? If you ignore your dad while he rapes you, will he stop raping you? It doesn't fucking work that way. The police in this town have done everything they can to ignore any and all crimes against me and to punish me. To make me have to feel afraid to go to them if I'm harmed. We all have to be afraid to go to police. Every man in America has to be afraid to go to the police when he's harmed by a woman, especially. By the men who that woman lied to. Because she was angry, because she didn't get what she wanted right when she wanted it. Just like Veronica Bruce, aka Missy Bruce of Region 2. Just like Jamie Curtis of Rapid City, South Dakota. Just like Katie Cahill of Illinois. They wanted to play head games and never come forward, but promised that they would. And all they did was drag it out. No way for me to give a phone number to my lawyers. Just dragging it out. When they wouldn't come forward, after promising that they would, after wasting my time, after promising that they support me and they're going to help me, they helped my predators. Katie Cahill helped Jennifer Farina Bollinger and her friends to get away with threatening, harassing, and intimidating me nonstop on her site, and she did nothing about it. She did not care. Then she wanted to dump it on me instead of coming forward. You tell the truth, or I will is not a threat. I'm going to tell the truth regardless. I'm going to show the truth regardless. The only saving grace that any of you have is that I don't have the resources to do it. None of these people have time. Is that my fault? No, it's not. It's not my choice for these people to have lives and families and things that they have to take care of. It's also not my choice for them not to do the easiest thing, which is to fucking speak up. Jesus goddamn Christ.